Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm putting together my weekly Project Life spread in my 2023 album for the week of February 17th through February 26th. For this spread, I'm working with the Ali Edwards Stories by the Month kit for the month of February 2023. And I had a ton of fun with this kit. I think that this spread comes together super quickly because I'm not doing anything too crazy with it, just kind of using the kit. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so this is the week of February 17th through 26th. So this is actually a little bit more than a week because this was the week after I got back from vacation. And if you missed that video, I will link it up at the eye for you. But I, in my Project Life album, tend to stick with the weeks, but I will manipulate what counts as a week based on what is going on in my life. And a big one of those is vacations. I always give a vacation a standalone spread, no matter how many days it was. So my vacation ran from, I think it was from Friday to Thursday. So I came back on Thursday, February 16th, and that was the end of that spread. Now I normally keep my Project Life weeks Monday through Sunday. So I came back on a Thursday. And so what I decided to do was combine that Friday through Sunday, that 3-day weekend, along with the whole following week. So we ended up with a 10-day spread rather than a 7-day spread. So a lot went on this week, but I didn't take a lot of photos. I mean, I took a lot of photos, but not compared to how many days were being documented, just because it was just, you know, a lot of little things. Usually when I get back from vacation, I don't take a ton of photos because, you know, I just got back from vacation. So I have just a few ones here. I actually have quite a few that I printed out, and I'm just kind of laying them out to get an idea of where I want things in my album. And then I'm going to be working with the February Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards for 2023. And looking through this kit, let's see, these kits this year are much smaller than last year in terms of the number of cards because they've added papers. In the added transparency, which I already used on another project, but I haven't used anything else from this kit. And I do have the stamp out of here because I was using it in my stamp organization, but I'll pull that over in a bit and see if there's anything I want to include in this spread. So this is the 6x8 paper that they include, and this actually would work very well in Project Life. If you cut these out and put them on photos, you could do 6 stories of things you're loving that week. But let's see, if I was going to do this one here, I would have to put like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe I could fit one on this one, 5, and then put one on another card. I guess I could do that. The problem is, like, I could fit one on here, but I was not loving this. I think that this works better on 4x6 photos because you can see, like, this would fit really well on these photos, but on the 3x4s, it's kind of hard. So I don't think I'm going to do that. This one is a great card to just, if you want to tell 4 stories, I could just stick this in here. I also could cut these out and put those on cards, but again, they are 3 inches wide, so it would be really great to do like this with a story and do 4 of those 4 3x4 cards, which I think I would kind of like doing that, but I don't want to do it on this spread. This says last month and this month observations. I'm not going to use that one because I am really just journaling about this month, but I could see using that in my personal album. And then I do want a 4x6 card here, but I think that this one is going to be perfect for right here. And I could tell the story about this photo is from, I think it was from Saturday. Let's see, we did, maybe it was Friday. We went to, yeah, on Friday, Summer and I went and did a second college tour of the college that she has decided to go to next year. And so I can journal about that and about her decision to commit to that college. This February 3 Things card I definitely want to use because I've been using that to kind of do a recap of the month. And then this card I think would be a good background for this, which, you know, I just went to this movie this week. And then let's see, I've got these two cards. This one could be a little bit more journaling, and then this could just be some things from this week. And then this one could be my title card. So I think I like that as my layout. I might want to switch some things around. Like, I think this photo is a little bit darker. And so I'm going to put it next to all these white cards, and I might mix this up a little bit more. But I think I generally like this layout. What else do I have over here? So I have these labels stickers, and these might actually be super cute to add some journaling onto more of the photos. I've got to decide what stories I want to tell and if there's enough room for my stories on all of these cards. Then let's see, we've got the chipboard, but before I dig into that, I'm going to open this one. So in here we've got these like vellum circles, which are super cute, and February moment documented. Like, I might just want to like add these to some of these, some of my photos, just to kind of have a little bit of embellishment. And then some of these are just like gold rim tags, which I'm trying to decide if that would look good with like that on top of it, because I don't know that I want to write just on the vellum, but I guess you could. Trying to just to see if I could use all of these. I don't know if you guys must know this about me by now, but I like just using up in a spread, an entire package. Although my favorite days of February, I don't want like this one, because my favorite days of February would have been my vacation. I'm not sure about these. I'm gonna pick them up. I do kind of like them, but I feel like they're a little bit big on the 3x4 photos. And I think that this is one of the things that I have found about the 9x12 albums. So this is what, like maybe like my 8th or 9th week doing Week in Life Project Life in 9x12. You guys will know because it'll say in the title of this video which week number it is. And so I'm starting to get used to this size. And I really love this size because of the additional 3x4 pockets and the opportunity to include mostly 3x4 pockets, which is what most of the Project Life cards are these days and in my stash, plus what most of my photos are, because most of my photos are taken vertically. However, the 3x4 photos are much smaller than 4x6, and I feel like a lot of the embellishments really lend themselves to the 4x6 photos as opposed to the 3x4 photos. So that is just one of the like trade-offs that I feel like I have found in doing this size album, that the smaller photos are just a little harder to embellish. I'm looking around some of these, like fitting these on here. Let's see. These moments, memories document. Thankful for these moments. Stories matter. Yes, they do. I feel like that one's really pretty and really coordinates well. Around here this month, I like that one on there. I might try to use up all of these. Good stuff. I mean, this really wasn't good stuff, but maybe I could put this one there. And this one here. Little story, love this. Kind of like that as a way to use all of those chipboard. I just toss this, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this together, get my journaling done, you get everything adhered down. I think this one's gonna come together pretty simply. Maybe I do want to include a few of these, like, I don't know. I don't love that these 3 photos don't have any embellishments and they're all next to each other, so maybe I'm gonna kind of play with that. Maybe I'll move this one right here. This one here. There we go. I like that better. And then just trying to decide if there's anything else I want to add on here embellishment wise before I put you guys on fast forward. I'm still going back to adding these things on here. I love the like large embellishment like this on a card, but I don't really want like that on all of the cards. So I guess I'm trying to decide if there's some other like treatment I want to do as opposed to just adding large chipboard. And I kind of just want to leave it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put you guys in fast forward. I'm going to add my journaling, adhere some stuff down, and then see if there's anything else that I want to do before calling this spread good. There you go.
Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the spread. So I decided to use my mega date stamp from Studio Calico for my title card here. And the only thing I hate about the stamp is it hurts your hand so much to rotate it. I had to cut some footage as I sat there rotating that stamp because it takes a while, especially because I had to change the year. Now I'm moving on to my journaling here. And you can see there I have my daily journal on the right-hand side of the screen. And I'm using that as a reference to decide what I want to journal in my project life. And I keep that journal kind of pretty much at the same time as when things happen so I can write stuff down. And if you're interested in more about that, I will link it up at the eye. I have a flip through of my January. I have not shared a flip through of my February, but if you guys are interested in seeing that, please let me know. And if there's enough interest, I will share one of those as well. I do think I might start sharing them maybe like quarterly or every few months so I can lump a few months together. But yeah, definitely let me know what your thought is and if you're interested in seeing my daily journal. So now I have this card here and I'm putting bullet points of just different stories that happened this week. Not a ton happened this week, honestly, other than our college visit, which is what I journaled about on that larger card. I didn't really have enough to fill the 4x6 cards, so I kind of just justified my typing or my handwriting to match the title, which I kind of like how that looks. And I think it helps you kind of like highlight the pattern in the background. This card right here, I'm including this card every month this year because this is a card that is repeated in all of these Stories by the Month kits. And I'm doing it to highlight three things that happened that month. Last year, the Stories by the Month kits all had I think it was a gratitude card. I had 5 gratitudes and I used that to write down 5 things that happened that month that I was thankful for. And so I'm kind of doing the same thing here, but with the 3 things. I do kind of like that this one is not a gratitude lens though, because I can use it to highlight just like the 3 biggest stories of the month, even if they weren't good things. So I did go back and flip through my older Project Life spreads, like the first few from the month, to kind of get an idea of what I wanted to write about. And I highlighted my vacation, obviously, the weather this month, and then my general just kind of feelings. I was going through a lot of like burnout this month during February, and my vacation could not have come at a better time. I really, really needed it. Thankfully now in March, I'm feeling a lot better, but February was kind of a rough month for me outside of my vacation. I went to the movies one night with a friend, and instead of really journaling about it, I just added the movie ticket in here and feel like that kind of speaks for itself. This year, I am keeping that daily journal. I'm not journaling every single day. I've kind of switched it up a little bit, but I'm also keeping my Hobonichi cousins. So I do have a lot of documenting happening about everyday life outside of Project Life, which is not something I've done often in the past. And it's giving me a little bit of a different perspective in my Project Life album. I no longer feel the need to kind of tell every single story from the week. And instead I'm having fun just kind of highlighting what I feel like during that week. You saw me pull the labels over from the kit. I was considering adding a few more details on some of the photos, but I didn't really like the way it looked, but I felt like the spread needed something else. You can see I used all the chipboard pieces and I just kind of put them on some of my photos, but I decided I still needed something else. So I went over to my stash and pulled over 3 word phrase strip sheets in 3 colors that kind of coordinated with the kit. And I'm using them to kind of just stack 3 word phrase strips together on 3 of my photos. And this is just a good way to use up the stash of word phrase strips because there's always so many of those in my stash. And because I have so many sheets, there's almost always going to be some colors that coordinate with whatever project or spread I'm working on. I added another one of the word phrase strips along the bottom of that journaling card just to kind of ground my journaling and add a little bit more decor. And I really like how this one came out. It was very simple and quickly came together, but I like that I was able to use all of those chipboard pieces on the spread and really almost entirely stick to the kit. And, I really enjoyed putting this one together, and I hope that you enjoyed this one as well. You can see I'm just going ahead and slipping everything into the pockets. I guess before I end, I do want to mention that this left-hand side has no 4x6 pockets, as you can see, and that is simply because that is the one that I chose for the week prior. So on the right-hand side, I did add a page protector that is a newer configuration from Ali Edwards that has the 4x6 pockets, and it has 3 of them, which I think gave me the opportunity to add a few more 4x6 photos. So here's a look at the finished spread. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and leave them below. And please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks so much for being here. See you in the next one. Bye.